much, my friend.
Alright, guys, we got another live stream. Please share, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button. We got to dive to this video. Now, America is about to change forever. And the reason why I said how America is about to change forever is because when Trump went to the Middle East, they regard to make a visit to Israel. And I've been saying to you how they deposit the little brother Israel on foreign soil, which Israel will be eventually will be the Palestinians' land. So now nothing surprised me. Nothing will surprise me. Because America is about to change forever. And we're about to go through some drastic changing. In this world. So America will change for good. But you might say, well, what do you mean that America's going to change for good? Well, you can look at this fall of this system. So the coming of this white man's world into this Western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from their brethren. In Europe, we see Europe was divinely given to the right race as in home when it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning have come to them. So, my brothers and sisters, these are the days of reckoning for the right race, as the religious scholars and scientists can agree. But because of their nature, we see evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. You see, they make war today against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from stepping righteousness and doing the righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey into the strong, powerful hands of his enemies, the children of their slave masters. So we see for 400 years, we see the slave master have mistreated their slave, and now we see this day a redemption. And they are doing everything possible to deceive them from accepting the starvation that Allah now offers to this black man of America. So we see so shown is God's love for us that he now desire nothing but a total destruction. We see that's coming on America, and this will change America. What's going to really change her is God's going to really delight himself into war. That she can't win the war in that Middle East. Because, even though, brothers and sisters, there's still the Cold War. with America and Russia. And Russia, at some point, they ain't going to stop invading Ukraine. So there's still the Cold War, and I've been telling you guys on my last video that America and Russia are the most two powerful war factors. So America is about to change forever. I mean, people going to start looking here in America. They're going to start from the outside to trying to look inside of America instead of coming to America. People going to leave America. America will change forever because the dreadful times have come to America. And there's so many people are confused. Because we living amongst confusion of people that don't even want to know what's at stake. And I say 99% of us don't even know what's at stake. Whatever evil spooner ready to do their worst can make it very difficult for the 99% ignorant to ever know the truth. When they seek death, when they send police officers to get us killed, when they don't care about your loyalty, because in their hearts there's death against us, this black man. When there's 100 police officers dressed in a black and white uniform, and they're going through the area of their car, and there's one helpless victim, one Negro. And when they can yell out, "Get that nigga," this shows cowardice ever since we've been here, going at the Negro to do him harm. When there's 100 of them attacking that one poor little Negro. See, Psalms chapter 10, verse 8 says, he sat in this lurching place of the village, in a secret place. Do he murder the innocents? His eyes are set against the poor. You see, when they seek police officers to get us killed, see, they don't, brothers and sisters, they don't care about your loyalty. Because in their hearts, there's death against us, this black man in America. So what is your life? Your life is like a mist that passed. See, your life today, it don't mean nothing to you. And that's why David says, yes, Lord, I walk into this valley of shadow of death, because I feel no evil, because the Lord are with me. See, brothers, when they went into our sister Miss Taylor's home, no search warrants, no proper cause. A long day our sister had. Police went in there to ambush and shoot the sister. See, her life don't mean anything. This as the young sister, Sonia, the Chicago native. And police, came with a motive. They came to have attention to kill our sister. See, when I always been saying, America has failed you. So has the government have failed you. Christianity has failed you because Christianity don't teach you this. So in the past decade, what have the Republicans and Democrats done in this last century in the way of your freedom, justice, and equality? You know, it's nothing that this man on the screen has done, but this went into a Middle East to try to shake up things. You know, he's humiliating himself. You know, let's roll this footage for a second.
Tremendous honor to return to this beautiful kingdom and be welcomed back with such extraordinary generosity and warmth. I've never forgotten the exceptional hospitality showed to us by King Solomon, who's just, we talk about a great man. That is a great man. That is a great man, a great family. Now, that visit took place exactly 8 years ago. The graciousness of the royal family and the Saudi people is really unsurpassed, no matter where you go. Let me also thank the countless ministers, government officials, business leaders, and distinguished guests for that warm welcome. Very warm, and I know so many of you like to call out all of your names, but we have a lot of problems. We'd be here for a long time. We don't want that, so don't be upset. With this historic state visit, we celebrate more than 80 years of close partnership between the United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ever since President Franklin Roosevelt met with King Solomon's father, King Abdul Aziz, aboard the USS Quincy in 1945, the U.S.-Saudi relationship has been a bedrock of security and prosperity. Today we reaffirm this important bond, and we take the next steps to make our relationship closer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. It is more powerful than ever before.
Wait, stop. You're not going to accept that ridiculous offer for your car accident, are you? What do you mean? The insurance company...
And by the way, it will remain that way. We don't go in and out like other people. It will remain that way. I've come this afternoon to talk about the bright future of the Middle East, but first let me begin by sharing the abundance of good news from a place called America. In less than 4 months, our new administration has achieved more than most other administrations accomplish in 4 years or even 8 years. We've actually done, for the most part, more. The day I took office, we inherited, thank you. The day I took office, we inherited a colossal invasion on our southern border, an invasion like you never want to see here. Nobody should ever want to see it. But within weeks, we slashed illegal border crossings to an all-time low, down 99.999%. That's good, even for this great gentleman standing right in front of me. That's a good number. We had hundreds of thousands of people that came in at the same time last year, and last month we had, in this massive border, 3 people that got in. That's quite a difference, and we have no choice but to get a lot of the people that came in because they were not the best people. They were, in many cases, very bad people. We're getting them out. We're getting them out very fast. We're bringing them back to where they came from. We have no choice. After years of military recruiting shortfalls, enlistments in the U.S. Armed Forces are now the highest in 30 years because there is such an incredible spirit in the United States of America. We have tremendous spirit again. Just about a year ago, there was a...
So sending legal immigration back to the country and that some of the families been here for over years over the Obama administration, is a good thing, right? To to stop border crisis. It's sad with his country going because America about to change forever, man. You know what I mean? And we gonna come to some very dreadful times here in America where you guys gonna really have to get your things in order, get your food in order, get your house in order, everything in order. You know what I mean? Because you see the food chain, you see, these tariffs. You see Trump is just having a little vacation. You know what I mean? And it's not talking about bringing jobs back to America. Anything we haven't, man. If if Trump continues to sign these executive orders and they put it right in your face what they're going to do, they're going to cut down public assistance and RIC and food stamps. They cutting down everything. They cutting out the middle class people, man. And how is middle class people in order for capitalism to continue to keep, rolling, that they got to have middle class people to work. Why is it you send immigrants, immigration back where they make up the population when it comes to jobs? You know what I mean? And the sad thing, you all, we 2 years, when you look at our infrastructure, look at this global warming, we are just so behind, y'all. And this is why, man, this is why things really finna be so hectic.
The big story, front page on every paper all over the world, that nobody wanted to enlist in our military, meaning we were way under enlisted. And just last week it came out that we had the strongest enlistment. They say 30 years, but probably it's maybe ever. They don't go back that far. It's the best, and that includes police officers, firemen, everything else. Is a great spirit in the United States right now. A brand new poll from Rasmussen just showed that the number of Americans who believe the nation is on the right track, they have a right track, wrong track, is now the highest in over 20 years. And it hasn't been anything like this because for many years it was the wrong track. And I can tell you for the last 4 years it was definitely the wrong track, but it's the highest it's been in many, many years. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. That was very popular, other than perhaps with
Want to know the secret of authentic content that performs everywhere, not just social? Let's be real. Today's audience
Mexico. And most importantly for the people in this room, the days of economic misery under the last administration are rapidly giving way to the greatest economy in the history of the world. We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on. No, Mohammed, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least as long as I'm up here, you're hotter. But groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation, and in a few short weeks, we've created 400.
That's a lie. Gas prices they haven't went down, y'all. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe the lies. Trump always been an excessive liar when it comes to gas price, and when it comes, see the whole thing of it is the gas price went down 6 months ago when let's say 6 7 months ago when Joe Biden was in administration. So it's just like enough, man. You know what I mean? Groceries haven't went down, man. Enough is enough, man. What you know what I mean? What have this man done, man? But use power and authority. You know what I mean? I remember Trump got humiliated when Biden won by 11. You know what I mean? Electoral votes, and This when he claimed that the election was rigged, and this is the retaliation of Trump, that he's retaliating on American people. That American people will have to suffer. You know what I mean? You have to suffer where you're gonna have to lose. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Americans gonna lose homes because of the public assisting these vouchers that people was having. You know what I mean? On Section 8, when Section 8 can't cover half your rents. You know what I mean? And when he's trying to put a stop to that and put a stop to Rick and food stamps, all the public assistance, you know what I mean? No more are you relying on the government anymore. You know what I mean? How hard things going to really be? See, my whole thing is, what's the whole purpose you taking the trip to the Middle East? You know, because it's not you trying to work on American bring jobs. You know what I mean? So what's the whole purpose of him taking that trip?
164,000 brand new jobs. Think of that. It's almost 500,000 jobs created just in a matter of weeks. We just reached a historic trade agreement with the United Kingdom, and over the weekend we reached a breakthrough agreement with China. Both outstanding deals. China's agreed. We have to get it down. We have to get the little details down. Scott, you're going to work on that very hard, but China's agreed to open up to the United States for trade and everything else. But they have to do it, so we'll see what happens. But
You see this? You see this? Another lie he's saying, y'all. He said now we gotta see if China was working on a trade, then why would he say we have to see? You see how you can catch him in a lie? China is not willing to work on America on anything. See, once you realize that these foraging countries don't need the United States. The United States need, you know what I mean, these foraging countries. I want to say this to y'all. The United States need these foraging countries more than the foraging country need the United States. You guys got to understand that China don't need America. You know, China, you know, you got to understand she can't care her populations. You know, and it's like Trump knows he got to get something done, but it's just all bluff. It's just all bluff. He's not. In other words, he's an excessive liar. He's not working on any kind of, because China's like, look, man, buy some of our stocks, buy some of our trades. You know. What's the whole purpose that China need the US?
we had a very, very good meeting with both of those countries. We are cutting 10 old regulations for every new regulation. We're getting rid of all of the red tape that is so many, frankly, countries as they get older, they develop a lot of red tape, and we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it at record levels. And I'm pleased to report that the United States Congress is on the verge of passing the largest tax cut and regulation cut in American history. We think we're in good shape to get that. And if we get that, that will be like a rocket ship for our country. In the first quarter of the year, the investment in America was up an astounding 22%, more than $10 trillion of new investments have been announced or are coming just since the election on November 5th. So think of that. In a very short period of time, we have over $10 trillion, and it could be much higher than that. Not everybody comes to the White House to have a news conference that they're going to be opening up in America, but they're all coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. If you take a look at other presidencies, they wouldn't do $1 trillion sometime in years. We did this in essentially 2 months because you have to say we got into office and they gave me about a month to clean up and fix up the Oval Office, and after that we started working, and the money is pouring in, the jobs are pouring in, the companies are pouring into our country like we've never seen before. There's never been anything like it.
why do he go all the way to the Middle East and lie like that? The jobs is not working. People being laid off. Why are you gonna tell these people this bold-faced lie you keeping? Go all the way to the Middle East. You see, this is why I say, man. This is why I say, when Trump steps, you know what I mean, out and go to the foreign country and discuss all the, you know what I mean, all the things that the country is having, but not explaining that America is going through a depression. People losing jobs, people being forced to be laid off, and you see the unemployment. You see the unemployment rate. What's going on? That he's, you know what I mean, going somewhere saying that, oh, we doing okay. You know what I mean? The jobs is, you know what I mean, people, you know what I mean, people's working. We getting the jobs, you know what I mean, where we need it, you know what I mean, right now. You know what I mean? But people is being forced to be let off, and you know what I mean, people's forced to have to go in for unemployment. That's cause that's what it is, you know what I mean? You know, so you know, everybody finding out where, you know what I mean, going in, you know what I mean, to a job that they not promised to work so long. You know what I mean? If you it's a blessing if you working in the union. You know, my mom been working for Stabler for a long time. But you know what I mean, if you work in Amazon and working truck companies, man. There's a lot of things, y'all. There's a lot of things that this man is doing. Why you think that they got these executive orders? It's like they doing a mandatory executive orders on a lot of things right now.
And we let other people tariff us into losing a lot of money and a lot of jobs, and now we're tariffing them, and it's at a level that nobody's seen. It's a level that is making us a very much different country and a very different Republican Party. We won a tremendous victory in November. We won all 7 swing states, the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. The Electoral College we won by 312 to 226. Remember they said, well, could get to 270. You know, we got to 312. It's a big difference. And very importantly, we won counties throughout the United States, 2,660 to 451. That's why when you look at a map, they're all red. So the whole country is red. Red stands for Republican. From the moment on and from the moment we started, we've seen wealth that just poured and is pouring back into America. Apple is investing $500 billion. NVIDIA is investing, and I see my friend is here, Jensen. That's very good, wherever you may be. And thank you very much, because he's putting in $500 billion. TSMC is investing. Where is Jensen, by the way? Where is he? He's standing here. Where is he? I just saw that. Thank you very much, Jensen. I mean, Tim Cook isn't here.
What if you could earn commissions simply by offering 0% interest funding to business owners? I'm Leo Canella, creator of The Funding Machine. I've built multiple 8-figure funding companies and trained thousands of professionals on how to earn commissions by helping businesses get the 0% interest funding they need to grow. And now I want to show you how you can do the same. You see, every business needs funding to grow, and that's where you come.
But you are. What a job you've done. He said he's got 99% of the chip market. I don't know. That's not easy to beat. But what a job you've done. Thank you. We are proud to have you in our country. You know that. Thank you for the investment. TSMC is investing $200 billion, and with this trip, we're adding over $1 trillion more in terms of investment into our country and buying our products. And you know, nobody makes military equipment like us. And with the best military equipment, the best missiles, the best rockets, the best everything. best submarines, by the way, most lethal weapon in the world, in addition to purchases of $142 billion of American-made military equipment by our great Saudi partners, the largest ever. This week there are multi-billion-dollar commercial deals with Amazon, Oracle, AMD, they're all here, Uber, Qualcomm, Johnson & Johnson, and many, many more.
So you said Amazon, DoorDash, and all this, right? But a lot of people but he don't say, a lot of people being let off from Amazon. So it's like, nothing changed, brothers and sisters. Nothing changed from this. Nothing changed for him to go associate himself and feel that, oh, this is the welcome he can get in a foreign country, but don't do nothing at home. Don't do. See, this is why when it comes to China versus America, China's going to be in. She's going to take care of population. America's not going to be in taking care of American people. You can see that from each president we had. They go out to foreign countries to discuss all the problems the countries is having, but never saw the needs, never be in the needs of the American people, man. And this is why America suffers. This is why America is suffering from her downfall. This is why we are seeing the fall of America. We seeing America's downfall. This is her downfall.
So I want to congratulate everybody. So many great business executives, many of you, most of you I know, and they're coming in, about a month ago. They weren't that happy when they saw me. And now they're saying, sir, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. It's amazing what a rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher. In fact, I told people 5 weeks ago, it's a great time to buy. I got criticized for that. Now,
You see what he said? He says it's going to get a lot higher. What do you mean by that? It's going to get a lot higher. He's going to get a lot higher. You know what I mean? Mean groceries going to get a lot higher. Your cost of living going to get a lot higher. You're going to be forced to be homeless. A lot of Americans are going to be forced to be homeless. You're going to be forced to be homeless. Because a lot of people, even when you're trying to maintain, you know what I mean? Even you trying to maintain, even, you know what I mean? Even a job, you go work, you know what I mean? A 9 to 5. An 8-hour job. Sometimes, most of the time when it's peak season, you got to work 10 hours, maybe 11, 12 hours. But you know what I mean, you got to maintain. And those people that got 2 jobs, they got to maintain. And it's like how many times you hear America saving paycheck to paycheck. You know, this man want to bring everything up, man. Let's look at what they doing already with the tariff wars. Let's look at how you know what I mean, they pushing it right in the black communities and the black hair salons. You about to start seeing things go up, and it's gonna be, it's mad. You know, it's power. You know, just because America feel like, you know what I mean, they got power and they can use it. They can bully their way and use power and authority. This is wicked. This is sad. This is wicked.
now they don't criticize me anymore. People should have listened, but it's going to go a lot higher. You're going to see, we've never had anything like this happen. It's an explosion of investment and jobs, and great companies are coming in. Never seen anything like it. There's no better place to make a future or make a fortune, do anything, frankly, than what we have in the United States of America under a certain president, Donald J. Trump. I have the right attitude. I have the same attitude that the people in the front row, second row, third row have. As you get back, perhaps they start to wane a little bit in terms of their view. But they understand, and we're doing what a lot of smart people would do. And we're not necessarily being politically correct. You saw what we did yesterday with healthcare. We've cut our healthcare by 50 to 90%. You're going to see drugs and pharmaceuticals come down in numbers that nobody has ever seen. And drugs, pharmaceuticals, we think will be dropping. And it'll be a redistribution of costs with other nations, which really took advantage of a very nice group of people that ran our country. But not only is this a time of incredible excitement in the United States, it's also an exhilarating period right here in the Arabian Peninsula. Beautiful place, by the way. Beautiful place. Exactly.
Oh, our car's value went up.
Maybe we should track all our cars' value on Carvana.
All of it?
All of them.
Exactly 8 years ago this month, I stood in this very room and looked forward to a future in which the nations of this region would drive the forces of terrorism and extremism, drive them right out of existence, and take your place among the proudest, most prosperous, most successful nations anywhere in the world as leaders of a modern and rising Middle East. So exciting. So exciting. Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh? Just thinking.
I want to say this, man. Trump, everybody know Trump is delusional, man. He's a delusional guy. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, these people are laughing at Trump, really. He's humiliating himself going to these fortune countries, man. It's like, man, it's like he got to discuss a lot of things, right? But just know these people ain't buying it. He's really humiliating himself, man. He's really, look, when you don't have no desire, you don't have no plans to visit Israel and the Gaza war to settle the ceasefire. When you don't have no intention of going over to Israel. This is why I say this to my viewers that's listening, man. This is why America, when they posit Israel on fortune soil, the Palestinians, because this is what's going to be. It's going to be the Palestinians' country. You go to the Middle East, but you have no need. You had no need to go to Israel. So that makes me think that he's making a fool. He's making a fool of himself going to Saudi Arabia. He's making a fool of himself, man. Because he had no intention. He had no intention of going to Israel to see about that ceasefire, to stop that Israel and Gaza war. He's just humiliating himself. He's going over here, and see, this is why people looking at Trump is they laughing at him, man. It's a waste of time.
What a job. He tosses and turns like some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they? But you have done some job. True. But critics doubted that it was possible what you've done. But over the past 8 years, Saudi Arabia has proved the critics totally wrong. The transformation that has occurred even by these incredible business leaders. I mean, you had the biggest leaders in business anywhere in the world standing right before us. But the transformation that has occurred under the leadership of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed has been truly extraordinary. Such a thing as I don't think ever happened before. I've never seen anything at that scale happen before. And I guess, maybe you could say the United States is doing pretty well too, but I don't think too many people have seen that happen before. Majestic skyscrapers, the towers that I see, the difference between now and 8 years ago. And 8 years ago was very impressive, but the towers that I see rising, some of the exhibits that I was shown by Mohammed, if what I've seen there is just an amazing, it's an amazing process, amazing genius of so many people, architecture, but I have a feeling I know where many of those ideas came from. Happens to be sitting right in this room right before me, but the towers and all of the different, I've seen a lot of different towers. I didn't think there's any version of a tower that I haven't seen in one form or another. Well, I just passed 4 exhibits. I have never seen anything like any of them. So it's going to be very exciting.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
And they sit among the ancient wonders of a growing and exciting city. It's really amazing. Riyadh is becoming not just a seat of government, but a major business, cultural, and high-tech capital of the entire world. The World Cup is here. Johnny, just stand up, John. Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. Great job, Johnny. Great job. But the World Cup and the World Expo will soon be coming here, just like the World Cup is coming to the United States. It's going to be really exciting next year. The engines of Formula One racing now roar through the streets of Jeddah in a historic milestone. Other industries recently surpassed oil. Think of it. All of your other industries now have surpassed oil. I don't know if a lot of people will understand what that means. It's so big to make up a majority of the Saudi economy for the very first time ever. So think of that. Other industries are now bigger even than oil, which is always going to be a big monster. It's a big one, but that's a great tribute to you and economic development properly used. In other cities throughout the peninsula, places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Muscat, the transformations have been unbelievably remarkable. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that. And it's crucial for the wider world to note this.
I'm gonna say this was important speech that nations need to, at some point need to rest from all the grief and pain, American put these foreign countries in. Whether they accept, this Trump, his conference, this presentation and things, it could be hard because this is times we at where this distress times, and sometimes there's a time, there's a time for everything. And I don't know, this visit was a time for Trump to visit the Middle East. Where he could have had visit Israel. So, you know, whether this trip was important for him more than what American people needs. We too behind on infrastructure, global warming. We are too behind on so many things where a lot of stuff needs to be compensated. Let's roll this clip.
This great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I just won $60,000 from my car crash from this app from my phone. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Case Connect Compensation Calculator. It's for $60,000 and I'm about to go cash it in. For those of you who don't know what Case Connect is, it is one of the largest settlement payment companies in the world. They developed this app and they have over 140,000 people get paid huge checks after their car accident. The app asks you forceful questions, then compares your car accident to millions of other accidents.
And it's something only you could do. You achieved a modern miracle, the Arabian way. That's a good way. Today, the Gulf nations have shown this entire region a path towards safe and orderly societies with improving quality of life, flourishing economic growth, expanding personal freedoms, and increasing responsibilities on the world stage. After so many decades of conflict, finally it is within our grasp to reach the future that generations before us could only dream about, a land of peace, safety, harmony, opportunity, innovation, and achievement right here in the Middle East. So beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing that's happening. I guess, the people that are here can't even really appreciate it because you see it happening, and it's when you come to a place that you haven't seen in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years that it's even more incredible. When I left office just over 4 years ago, that future seemed almost impossible, what you've done. Together we had obliterated the killers of ISIS. We wiped them out, terminated its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We had healed the divide in the Gulf Cooperation Council. It's a very big deal. And united the nations of the region to stand against the enemies of all civilization. We'd imposed unprecedented sanctions on Iran and starved the regime of resources to fund terror. They were unable to fund anything because they had no money left. They had no money. But the new administration came in and let them have a lot of money, and you saw what happened. It was not money well spent. And with the
Sad thing how he did Iran and made Iran a bulwark city. What's sad is, you guys, that America is gonna get some point. It's gonna be bankrupt, and you're gonna look at the, you know what I mean, critical currency. You're gonna look at the critical currency. You know what I mean, and things are gonna start start changing. You know what I mean, and it's gonna change for the good. You know what I mean. When I say America is about to change forever, it's going to change forever for the good. You know what I mean? And what Trump is doing, you know, is not good for, you know what I mean, for the American people. It's not good what he's doing to the American people. American people is angry, and this is how 100% is going to be dissatisfied. And this is why I tell you guys, starting May 27th, you're going to see a civil war breakout. You're going to see the real apocalypse. And the corona mass suggestion, you know, if we ever get a big soul storm, think about Trump is trying to bring a cut down on a lot of things. Just think, why are we getting these solar storms and these pledges that's coming on? Because this is a break of America's downfall. And since Trump is, you know what I mean, causing all this chaos in the Middle East and causing problems, you know, this is why the nation suffers.
Historic Abraham Accords that we're so proud of. All the momentum was aimed at peace. It aimed very successfully. It's been an amazing thing, the Abraham Accords, and it's my fervent hope, wish, and even my dream that Saudi Arabia, a place I have such respect for, especially over the last fairly short period of time, what you've been able to do, but we'll soon be joining the Abraham Accords. I think it'll be a tremendous tribute to your country, and it will be something that's really going to be very important for the future of the Middle East. I took a risk in doing them, and they've been an absolute bonanza for the countries that have joined. The Biden administration did nothing for 4 years. We would have had it filled out. But it will be a special day in the Middle East with the whole world watching when Saudi Arabia joins us. And you'll be greatly honoring me, and you'll be greatly honoring all of those people that have fought so hard for the Middle East. And I really think it's going to be something special. But you'll do it in your own time, and that's what I want, and that's what you want, and that's the way it's going to be. When I left office, the only thing still standing between this region and its unbelievable potential was a small group of rogue actors and violent thugs seeking constantly to drag the Middle East backward and into havoc, mayhem, and indeed into war. Unfortunately, instead of confronting these destructive forces, the last U.S. administration chose to enrich them and empower them and give them billions and billions of dollars. The Biden administration, the worst administration in the history of our country, by the way, spurned our most trusted and long-standing Gulf partners, and I can say partners worldwide. One of our great partners, no matter who we look to, and we have great partners in the world, but we have none stronger and nobody like the gentleman that's right before me. He's your greatest representative.
So when a client comes to us with an ask to launch an influencer marketing campaign, the process is pretty streamlined.
And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much. Great guy. They lifted sanctions on Iran in exchange for getting nothing, and sent the regime tens of billions of dollars to fund terror and death all over the world. And they laughed at him. They laughed at our leader. And they're still laughing at our leader. They thought him a fool. and they made nothing but trouble ever since, including the funding of October 7th, one of the worst days ever in the history of the Middle East. Horrible day. Biden removed the Houthis from the list of foreign terrorist organizations, even while missiles and drones were being launched right here at your beautiful city of Riyadh and launched at ships if they happened to be sailing in the wrong location. The Biden administration's extreme weakness and gross incompetence derailed progress toward peace, destabilized the region, and put at risk everything we had worked so hard to build together. And when you think of the great achievements that you've made, to do it in light of a pretty hostile administration, an administration that was not a believer, it makes your achievements even greater. Makes them even greater, you know that. But in a few short months since taking office, we have achieved the swift return of American strength at home and abroad, now working with the vast majority of people in this region who seek stability and calm. Our task is to unify against the few agents of chaos and terror that are left and that are holding hostage the dreams of millions and millions of great people. The biggest and most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran, which has caused unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran. Think of that. They wanted to name it that. I said, they're not going to let them do that. Do you mind if I stop that? I stopped it. We're not going to let that happen. While you have been constructing the world's tallest skyscrapers in Jeddah, Dubai, Tehran's 1979 landmarks are collapsing into rubble and dust. They had it going for a little while under a much different system, but those buildings are largely falling apart, falling down, while you're building some of the world's biggest and most incredible infrastructure projects. Buildings, all sorts of things you're building that nobody's ever even seen before. Iran's decades of neglect and mismanagement have left the country plagued by rolling blackouts lasting for hours a day. All the time you hear about it. While your skill has turned dry deserts into fertile farmland, Iran's leaders have managed to turn green farmland into dry deserts as their corrupt water mafia, let's call it the water mafia, causes droughts and empty riverbeds. They get rich, but they don't let the people have any of it. And then, of course, there's the key difference at the root of it all. While the Arab states have focused on becoming pillars of regional stability and world commerce, Iran's leaders have focused.
It seems like, why are we so focused on other foreign countries? Why are we not focused on our country when it comes to infrastructure, global warming things? Why are we not so focused on what's happening? Because sooner or later, you guys, next year or so, you see the flooding that's happening now in our parts of United States. That Maryland flooding. Now it's supposed to be another flooding that's happening. Why are we so behind? Because I tell you guys, within the next year or two, you guys about to see things that you never see in life. With the worst yet to come. These are the dreadful times of America. It's a waste of time that Trump is going over here in Serbia. You know, and it's sad that he had made no plans to go see their brother Israel. He had no plans to visit Israel. You know, that's why I said there's so much nonsense.
On stealing their people's wealth to fund terror and bloodshed abroad. Most tragic of all, they have dragged down an entire region with them. Countless lives were lost in the Iranian effort to maintain a crumbling regime in Syria. Look at what happened with Syria. In Lebanon, their Hezbollah proxies have pillaged the hopes of a nation whose capital, Beirut, was once called the Paris of the Middle East. Can you imagine? All of this misery, so much more, was entirely avoidable. Absolutely avoidable. And Mohammed knew that. He knew that. Smart people knew that. If only the Iranian regime had focused on building their nation up instead of tearing the region down. Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders.
Now I'm going to add into this. You know, he's condemning and judging everybody but his damn self. Why haven't America showed that in this time? Why haven't they built up Taiwan when they need it? When China can go at Taiwan any given time? Why haven't they helped their allies? Why haven't they supported Taiwan and built Taiwan up for this time? You see, so I think when there's a law, when there's a spec, I think he should see his plaque before he see anybody else. You know what I mean? Spec. Before he condemn anybody else, he should be condemning himself and see how he's keeping it. Then he should be he should be able to take out other and see how he's been keeping it.
But to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I have shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. Enemies get you motivated. In fact, some of the closest friends of the United States of America are nations we fought wars against in generations past, and now they're our friends and our allies. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive, maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before. You know that they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror, they had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
No one understands me. If I actually told people how I'm feeling, they would think of me differently. That is a lie that I told myself.
But with that said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country. But they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer that will not last forever. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait. Things are happening at a very fast pace. Happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace. So they have to make their move right now. One way or the other, make your move.
Now, when he's saying that things happen at a fast pace, Iran got to make their move. You think they're going to make their move to surrender, to give up what they got? They got to protect themselves in this time. How I always said during Trump campaign 2016, how he went into Iran and tried to make Iran a bulwark city. Going over there talking about taking the oil. See, that's the talk of a beast. See, that's thug talk. Going over there taking the oil. But now he's trying to demand them to give up. You know, in this day and time when we had a break of a war, that it makes sense.
I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker and to be a unifier. I don't like war. We have.
See, that's what they are. That's what they are. A peacemaker I told you guys about. Peace, peace, they say. When there's no peace, he want to find peace. He's a hateful bird now. Revelation says. A hateful bird, he goes out to associate with foreign countries. And he's hated by all the other foreign countries. But he's talking about peacemaking. He want to find peace in this time. When you know all the years America made all this trouble. And he's talking about peace. Peacemakers have been peace breakers. All this time he's trying to find some peace. You gotta understand all the years America made trouble. And he's trying to find peace. This is a joke, y'all. This is a whole joke. He's trying to find peace. Peacemakers.
We have the greatest military, by the way, in the history of the world. You know, I rebuilt our military in my first 4 years and rebuilt it into the most powerful military there is. And you saw that when I knocked out ISIS in 3 weeks. People said it would take 4 years, 5 years. I did it. We did it in 3 weeks. Just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. And I used trade to a large extent to do it. I said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal. Let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. Let's trade the things that you make so beautifully. And they both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. And it all stopped. Hopefully it'll remain that way, but it all stopped. I was very proud of Marco Rubio, all of the people that worked so hard. Marco, stand up. What a great job you did on that. Thank you, J.D. Vance, Marco. The whole group worked with you, but it was a great job. And I think they're actually getting along. Maybe we can even get them together a little bit, Marco, where they go out and have a nice dinner together. Wouldn't that be nice? But we've come a long way, and that's could be, millions of people could have died from that conflict that started off small. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. I've also been working relentlessly to end the terrible bloodshed between Russia and Ukraine, and very importantly, talks are being held in Turkey later this week, probably on Thursday, and they could produce some pretty good results. Our people are going to be going there. Marco's going to be going there. Others are going to be going, and we'll see if we can get it done. 5,000 people, young people for the most part, soldiers from Ukraine, soldiers from Russia. They're not from here and they're not from the United States, but they're souls. They're souls, I think, usually, mostly they're young, beautiful souls that left their parents waving goodbye, left their brothers and sisters. Goodbye, I'll see you soon. And they got blown to pieces. 5,000 on average a week are dying. And people are dying elsewhere in the region, but tremendous numbers like we haven't seen since World War II are dying, and I want to stop it. I want to stop it. It's a horrible war. Would have never happened if I were president.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the
one platform that replaces.
That's a war that would have never happened. October.
But he's saying that it will never happen when he was president. He's full of it, man. If you see the war that's going on in Gaza and Israel, he said it will never happen when he was president. The war is still escalating over there in Russia and Ukraine. You know, Trump pull up this concern like, like any president would do. Why he's over there in the Middle East, I don't know, but I tell y'all, man, he had no plans going to see Israel. He had no plans to go over there to Israel. Their little brother. But he just talking about, about if he was president, it wouldn't be no war with Russia and Ukraine. But still, the war is still escalating. Then you got the war with Gaza and Israel. He ain't did nothing. The 100 days, He didn't did nothing. We got tariff wars. He ain't did nothing. He ain't did nothing. Look at the gas price. Biden, in the Biden administration, you see 6-7 years ago, the gas price was kind of down there, But he ain't did nothing right. But he's sitting there talking. He's sitting all in the Middle East talking about, this wouldn't happen if I was president. This wouldn't happen. This would never happen.
Seventh would have never happened if I were president because Iran had no money to pay Hamas or anybody else. They had no money. They were not looking to take care of them. They had to take care of themselves. They had no money. We stopped their oil effectively with the embargoes and sanctions. But let me take this opportunity to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the constructive role that you've played in facilitating the Ukraine talks. And it really is, you've been amazing. You've made everything available to us. Thank you very much. Thank you. And if we get that settled, we'll pay a special tribute to what you've done. You really did lay a great groundwork. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The West should not be dragging itself backward into another endless war in Europe, yet another endless war. We should stop the killing and work together to address the biggest long-term threats as one unbeatable team. Think of us as an unbeatable team. I mean, when you look at what you've done here, that's much more difficult than stopping stupidity. Think of it. It's stupidity. What you've done is much more difficult, and you did it better than anybody else has ever done it. As President of the United States, my preference will always be for peace and partnership whenever those outcomes can be achieved. Always. It's always going to be that way. Only a fool would think otherwise. In recent years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins. They loved using our very powerful military, and now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. We just are getting a budget approved, $1 trillion, highest budget we've ever had in history for military, $1 trillion, and we're getting the greatest missiles, the greatest weapons, and I hate to do it, but you have to do it because we believe in peace through strength. You have to have the strength, otherwise bad things could happen, but hopefully we'll never have to use any of those weapons. Seems to be an awfully big waste of money. You're never going to use it, but hopefully we'll never have to use it because the destructive power of some of those weapons are like nobody's seen before. I believe it is God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America, and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want.
Is he trying to promote violence or he trying to promote prosperity and peace? See, that's the thing we need to ask. If they know that God's judgment is here on America, and if he's trying to defend America, you know what I mean, for peace and bring this country, you know what I mean, back where it needs to be great. See, here's the thing. What is his whole mission? Because the last time we checked, last time we all checked, that we seen that Trump was signing these mass executive orders, cutting down public assistance, Section 8, you know what I mean, cutting down RIC, food stamps. What are his mission? Why are people being laid off? And why are they smashing the black communities, you know what I mean, when we see tariff wars, you know what I mean, that's happening, you know what I mean, in the black beauty salons? What is his whole ambition? What is his purpose as United States, you know what I mean, president? You know, that's what we need to ask. What is his whole mission? What is his achievement? Because after we seen the 100 years, you know what I mean, that guy has come. 100 years of famine. But now you had 100 days during the inauguration. 100 days you ain't seen nothing. You seen nothing but approval rating that's real bad right now. So if he's here today for the hard American people, then what will he have to do to bring this back? You know, see, as president, they can talk. They can talk a good one for the American people. All that talking can be cheap if talking don't go into action. You know, your words you have supposed to be your bond. You're supposed to have your word. We can say so many words, but don't bring them into action. There's so many words that said today, but there's no action. There has to be an action. There has to be a solution. Because whenever we can find a right solution, start practicing it, then we can start finding things and start addressing on issues and things that we are having. When there's a solution, there's you know what I mean, there could be a method you can find to solve the problems. If Trump is going to be in for the American people, then he needs to show that. He needs to show that. If he's going to be in for the heart of American people, he has to show that. He has to have that kind of ambition because so far we've seen so many executive orders being signed, so many things being cut right between our eyes, and a lot of things people don't even know what's going on. So I'm here to inform you what's going on. I want to actually inform you guys what's going on.
I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States or to help defend our allies.
Do you know what happens in the first 20 minutes of the stock market opening? That's when I make most of my trades. It's not magic, it's a...
And there will be no mercy for any foe who tries to do us or them harm. We will have no mercy. They understand that. That's why I've been pretty lucky. A lot of people think, you know, He's looking to fight. He's looking to fight, and things get settled. It's an amazing thing when they really think you mean it. But we do. We have the greatest military, the strongest military, stronger than any. Nobody's even close. We have the best weapons in the world, but we don't want to use them. If you threaten America or our partners, however, then you'll be faced with overwhelming strength and devastating force. We have things that you don't even know about, you don't hear about, and if you did, you say, wow. In recent weeks following repeated attacks on American ships and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea, the United States military launched more than 1,100 strikes on the Houthis in Yemen. As a result, the Houthis agreed to stop. They said, we don't want this anymore. It's the first time you've heard that from them, too. They're tough. They're fighters. But just days ago, we were asked to cease targeting commercial. They were not going to be targeting commercial ships in any way, shape, or form, anything American. And they were very happy that we stopped. But we had 52 days of thunder and lightning like they've never seen before. This was a swift, ferocious, decisive, and extremely successful use of military force. Not that we wanted to do it, but they were shooting down ships. They were shooting at you. They were shooting at Saudi Arabia, and we don't want them shooting at Saudi Arabia if that's okay. So we hit them hard. We got what we came for, and then we got out. Since January 20th, the U.S. military has terminated 83 terrorist leaders operating across Iraq, Syria, and Somalia, including ISIS's #2 global leader. You read about that just recently. With the help of Pakistan, we apprehended the ISIS terrorists responsible for the attack on 13 American service members at Abbey Gate, that horrible, horrible disaster. During this Afghanistan withdrawal, that's another thing that we don't even think about so much anymore. 13 died, but 42 were horribly wounded. But hundreds of people died overall, because I count the people on the other side. Hundreds of people just grossly incompetent. It's probably why Putin decided to go into Ukraine, something he never would have done if I were president. But we wouldn't have had the problems of October 7th if I were president. We wouldn't have had Ukraine, Russia if I were president. We wouldn't have had Abbey Gate, because there wouldn't have been any reason we were getting out, but we were getting out with dignity and with strength and power. But the way they got out was not good. I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And we've been working tirelessly to bring back all hostages held by Hamas. We brought back a lot already, but we're bringing back more. This weekend, we successfully negotiated the release of the last American hostage, Edan Alexander. Just came out a few hours ago, and we continue to work to get that war ended as quickly as possible. It's a horrible thing that's taking place. All civilized people must condemn the October 7th atrocities against Israel, which would never have happened again if you had probably a different president, but definitely if you had me as president. The people of Gaza deserve a much better future, but that will or can not occur as long as their leaders choose to kidnap, torture, and target innocent men, women, and children.
If Gaza deserved a better world, then why have there been conflict? Why have America bully their way in and escalate war? There was peace at one point with Gaza and Israel. You know what I mean? Gaza used to control all the Jordan River. There was so much peace. But a lot of people are starting to find out more that those people over there, those people was never the real Israelis. So why do you think Trump didn't have no concern, no plan to visit Israel? See how they do Israel. You see how they abandon Israel. You see how they posit Israel. Their little brother on foreign soil. You see how America. You see how America is. You see how she is. She had made no attempt to go see Israel. There's no attempts, y'all. I'm telling you guys, this supposed to be where Trump's supposed to have went to Israel and stop the ceasefire, make some kind of agreement, stop the war with Israel and Gaza. You know what I mean? Come up with some kind of ceasefire agreement to stop the war in Israel and Gaza. But he failed to make no attempt. So all this is this a whole stage. It's just a whole. Everything is a joke, man. It's everybody's seeing it, man. Everybody's seeing his time in the Middle East. He's messy. It's so messy. What you going over there for? What you going over to Saudi Arabia instead of going over to Israel and see what's going on?
For political ends, the way those people are treated in Gaza, there's not a place in the world where people are treated so badly. It's horrible. After years of suffering, two of the nations most ravaged by terror are finally beginning to end their long nightmares under the new generation of leaders. In Lebanon, where a friend of mine has just become the ambassador. He's going to be great. I said, that could be a very dangerous job. He said, I was born there. I'm Lebanese. I love that country. I said, but it's very dangerous. This is a friend of mine from New York. I said, but it's very dangerous. Are you sure you want to do it? I never thought of him as being a warrior, but he is a warrior. He loves his country. He said, if I'm injured or die, I'm dying for a country that I love. He grew up there. It's horrible what's happened in Lebanon, but you have a great ambassador, I can tell you that. In Lebanon, which has been endlessly victimized by Hezbollah and their sponsor, Iran, a new president and prime minister brought the first real chance in decades for a more productive partnership with the United States, and we're going to work with their new ambassador and everybody else, Marco, and we're going to see if we can really help them out and let them get over that very high grid that they're going to have to get over. My administration stands ready to help Lebanon create a future of economic development and peace with its neighbors. They have tremendous people in Lebanon, doctors.
America never had no kind of concern with Lebanon. Remember, it was that flood that happened. They had no concern of what happened over there. Them people was drowned. No concern. It's sad. It's just sad, y'all, that you hear just so much nonsense talking about what's going on over there in Lebanon. Trump didn't have no desire what was going on in Lebanon, what the economy was going through when it was going through that economic, crisis over there. Let's go, man.
Lawyers, great professional people. I hear it so many times. Likewise in Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria. They've had their share of travesty, war, killing, many years. That's why my administration has already taken the first steps toward restoring normal relations between the United States and Syria for the first time in more than a decade. And I'm very pleased to announce that Secretary Marco Rubio will be meeting with the new Syrian foreign minister in Turkey later this week. And very importantly, after discussing the situation in Syria with the Crown Prince, your Crown Prince, and also with President Erdogan of Turkey, who called me the other day and asked for a very similar thing, among others, and friends of mine, people that I have a lot of respect for in the Middle East. I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix.
Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince. The sanctions were brutal and crippling and served as an important function, nevertheless, at the time. But now it's their time to shine. It's their time to shine. We're taking them all off, and they're going to have, I think they're going to have Feast of the People and the Spirit and everything else that I'm hearing about. So I say, good luck, Syria. Show us something very special like they've done, frankly, in Saudi Arabia. Okay? They're going to show us something special. Very good people. Everywhere we can, my administration is pursuing peaceful engagement, offering a strong and steady hand of friendship to all that will take it in good faith. Together we have made unprecedented strides and tremendous progress, and we're still just at the dawn of the bright new day that awaits for the people of the Middle East, the great, great people of the Middle East. If the responsible nations of this region seize this moment, put aside your differences and focus on the interests that unite you, then all of humanity will soon be amazed at what they will see right here in this geographic center of the world. It really is. It's like a center of the world and the spiritual heart of its greatest faiths. For the first time in 1,000 years, the world will look at this region not as a place of turmoil and strife and war and death, but as a land of opportunity and hope, just like you've done right here.
Now, I wanna say now, what will be the end of this war? Because many of you may think that if America ends a war today in Asia, this will bring peace and prosperity. But to the people of America, perhaps someday there may be a lull in the war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about a cessation of war between each other, this does not mean that peace and prosperity is assured. And at this time, there's still this Cold War between America and Russia and other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. See, Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leave Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, is seeking to maintain the rule over the nation of Earth, even to conquer outer space. This will not last long. And a travel investigation to space, Allah God is permitting them to peep into his great unequal creation of power and might, the heaven and earth. The Holy Quran teaches that when God gets ready to destroy a people, he opens the door of heaven to them. He gives them a peep into his great wisdom in secret. But this does not mean that this adds power to the enemy to be able to war against the Creator. The reason for all of this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high-paying jobs, drawing a big roll of money after the war, unless it's with the help of Allah God. You prepare this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on America. America is a divine target because she could have better self in divine eyes of Allah God, who came in a person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. But America did not and will not better herself, as it is written and prophesied concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. The Bible, Jeremiah 51, verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah Jehovah went after Egypt. The Bible Exodus, we see Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah Jehovah and his prophet Moses to prevent Israel from going free of Pharaoh enslavement of them. So the war, you see, America cannot win the victory. America is about to change forever. You see, it's impossible for America to be the victors in this universal war because of the divine intervention against her. You see, although she have enough deadly materials and manufacturers to try to win, can she win against God, his judgment? She boasts of her materials and be able to destroy the people of earth 30 times. But she was left free to use her materials. Maybe America could win. But the divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She can try and boast of idea of mine to deceive her black slave, but she will deceive herself and them. So we see America is made manifest by Almighty God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, that she is a total deadly enemy against her one slaves. For many years I have written that America's greatest sin is her evil done to her black slave. Allah intends to repay her for what she has done. So she had deceived the black slave right at the point of this total destruction. She tried to rule the so-called Negro in with these false temporary promises by offering him high political jobs to keep him from turning his attention to self and kind. The black politician could and should use his political knowledge to benefit self and kind. The white America isolate the messenger of God from their minds with these false promises and make them to hate the messenger of God and to work against him, although the messenger of God is working for the interests of the black slaves. We see the eyes and ears of Allah God are open, listening to their actions. See, it's not necessary for Allah God to use mechanical devices. Allah God is physically real, and he has real physical eyes and ears. He's capable of seeing and hearing everything we do and say. He has power to defeat us in our plans which are against his plan. The American slaveholders want to deceive the so-called nigger to believing that Allah God is not paying attention to them. See, the white man wants them to believe that he is a God that they should pay attention to. I warn my people who believe in the idea that the white man is a God that they should pay attention to. You will come up the losers. Allah God is backing me up and the work he has given me to do. The work he has given me to do is for your own black starvation. If you think that you have starvation with the white man, then go ahead with him. See, I'm not here to force you against your own will. But I want you to know that if you are looking to white America for your starvation, you are headed with them to your and their destruction. There is no hope for America to win the war. There is no hope for this black man and the future of America. For America has no future for itself. She will not be able to win the war. You see, the scholars and scientists know that America cannot win. It's not just I alone saying this. We see the scholars and scientists will tell us America cannot win. We know by divine prophecy that America cannot win. If it was just Russia, China, Vietnam, and Korea using their judgment on how best to destroy each other, maybe America could win, for she have as much as they have in war materials and scientific preparation. America is capable of going out of the earth and to fight them from there. So she is capable of going out of the atmosphere of the earth to fight from there. But she is not able to go out of the atmosphere of the earth to destroy the black man of the earth. It's only a mistake that one should believe in America's ability to build a way station on the air or on the moon, for she will not be able to use it against us, for divine plan is set to destroy her. We have many things out there in space that can be brought into action against America or any other nation today, for Allah is the greatest. So America is about to change forever. So we have the mother planes. Now the mother planes was made to destroy this world of evil and to show the wisdom and mighty power of God, who came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. You see, the nature of a new world is righteousness. See, the nature of a new world cannot be righteousness as long as unrighteousness is in its midst. The same type of plane was used by the original God to put mountains on this planet. Allah God came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is rises to any God before him, as the Bible and Holy Quran teach us. Taught me that this plane will be used to raise mountains on this planet Earth. The mountains that he will put on this earth will not be very high. He will raise these mountains to a height of 1 mile over the United States of America. This reminds us of the prophet prediction at this time of destruction of the old world and the bringing in of a new world. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turn it upside down and scatter it aboard the inhabitants thereof. The Bible, Isaiah 24, verse 1. There are planes in various nations today, but this is the mother of them all. Why? Because this type of plane was used before the making of this world. Why should God make such a sign of his power to destroy a nation? Because this is the final destruction of that people who have opposed God and his purpose and aim for justice and righteousness. See, the right race is not a people who is made righteous and then turn unrighteous. See, it was made unrighteous by the God who made them, the false God. See, Allah God who came and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that this plane is capable of reaching the height of 40 miles above the earth. The words could have been a sign meaning 40 years in which the plane will go into action, and that referred actually to 40 miles. Allah God does not speak one word that does not have a meaning. See, every word that he speaks has a meaning. The mother plane, according to what have been described it of by the devil scientists, is capable of not only staying up for a long period of time, but is also capable of alluring the scientists. So they want to attack and destroy it. But if a plane did get close enough to attempt to carry out this purpose, it will be destroyed instead. The white men have learned it, that this is not a plane to be played with. See, planes come out of the mother planes. See, in the 1930s, we see the Chaldeans newspaper reported that they saw the wheel, the mother plane, it came down out of the sky. See, they admitted that it looks like a great city and that something came down from it and appears to be a tube. But that tube-like thing went back up again. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that the 6 months to a year, the mother plane comes into gravity of the earth. It takes on oxygen and hydrogen in order to prevent it to stay out of the earth gravity until it needs refueling again. So we see when it comes to Ezekiel prophecy of the wheel, we see Ezekiel saw the mother plane in a vision. According to the Bible, he looked up and saw this plane in Ezekiel 1:16. He called it a wheel because it was made like a wheel. A plane that is wheel shaped can turn in any direction at any time. He admitted that the plane was so high that it looked dreadful, and he cried out, "O wheel!" Ezekiel saw great works going on in the wheel and 4 living creatures. And the work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Ezekiel 1:16. And when the living creatures went, the wheel went with them. And when the living creatures was lifted up from the earth, the wheel was lifted up. In Ezekiel 1:19. The power of the lifting up, the 4 creatures was in the wheel. And the 4 creatures represent the 4 colors of the original people of the earth. There are 5 great powers of the nation of the earth. The 5 great powers are the black, brown, yellow, red, and white. Are the original powers. We see the red is not an equal power. The vision shows the 4 creatures being lifted up from the earth. And when the wheel was lifted up, they was lifted up. And when the wheel stood, they stood. This means that they rated upon the movement of the wheel. In Ezekiel vision concerning the wheel, he says that he heard the voice of one tell the others to take hold of fire, to scatter over the cities. This means bombs. It could mean fire too, however. The plane is to drop bombs, which will automatically be timed to burrow quickly to a position of 1 mile below the surface of the earth, where are time to explore. Allah God taught me that these bombs are not to be dropped into the water. They are to be dropped only on the city. It will be the work of the will. The will is the power of the 4 creatures, namely the 4 colors of the black man. The black, brown, red, and yellow. The red Indians is the benefit also for the judgment of the world. We must remember that God comes to separate from the righteous that which is hindering the righteous from making progress, and destroy the effect of the poison of that which has opposed the righteous. The effect of the poison will be fully destroyed at the destruction of the source of the poison which has poisoned the righteous. It is like one being bitten by a rattlesnake. Quickly, medication is administered in order to minimize the effect of the poison upon flesh and blood until a complete cure is effected and the patient is well again. It is useless to try to ignore Ezekiel's vision of the will for the make and destructive works of the will was foretold before it came to pass. See, the disbelievers believe that which he see present and that which is prophesied to come. That is why he is to lose us and take the course of hell. Because he disbelieved in that which is prophesied to come about in a particular day. This is what the enemy is trying to do today with the black man. He's fascinating him with sport and play, and they're doing of evil to keep him from going to the God who is present. You will never thought the days will come when you will see your wife, mother, an old grave-haired woman walking down the streets today, half nude. A few years ago, they would not have dared to come out into the public like that. But now they do so because the devil has put his improve on this kind of entire. See, they desire to please the devil. See, they do whatever the devil bid them to do. The devil desired to take this black man with him to his doom. Let us not classify the prophet as liars and ignore the prophecy, for we may cause ourselves destruction through belief, and the devil instead of the belief, the God of righteousness. There is no equal of the mother plane. This is the reason why she is called the mother plane. To the mother plane, present world. She has no equal. Do not be surprised at the make of this plane, since it is from the God who made the universe a floating planet and stars which are supported only by the power of Allah and a rotation and a orbits. Allah God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that the mother plane is like a little human-made planet. It's not simple for Allah God to make a new planet if he wants to. The mother plane is capable of staying out of the Earth's gravity for a whole year. She's capable of producing her own oxygen and hydrogen, as any other planet is able to do. The mother plane carrying the same type of bombs that our black scientists dropped on the planet Earth to bring up mountains out of the earth after the planet Earth was created. See, the knowledge how to do this had not been given to the world, right race. Nor would they ever get this kind of knowledge. The knowledge of the world is limited. The devil would get this kind of knowledge. We could just say that we are goers. Ever they are not able to attain this kind of knowledge. What does a 6-day-old baby right race look like trying to complete with a 6-year-old child black nation? See, that 6-year-old child can run all out in the yard and play. He can eat solid food. See, the power of the 6-day-old baby is limited. The knowledge and power of this world life, right race, is limited. The world of the white man was made from what he found and what he has seen, and learned from the work of the original black man. The right race is far from being able to equal the power and wisdom of the original black man. The mother plane and her work is a display of the power of the mightiest God, Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is the wisest and best knower, is the mightiest of them all. Old Will said the prophet Ezekiel, she was so high up in the sky that she looks dreadful. She is capable of staying away from you who plans the destruction of her. She is capable of confusing you who tries to reach her with your means of destruction. There are scientists on the mother plane who knows what you are thinking about before the thought materialized. We see the Holy Quran, Surah 50:16. Therefore, it is impossible to try to attack the mother plane. She can attack you, but you cannot attack her. So the mother plane can hide behind other stars and make herself invisible to the eyes, because she does not have to wait on the power from the earth. She can produce her own power to go wherever she desires to go in space. The mother plane is not like your little bullets or cameras, which are powered by your limited powers. The Bible prophesies that today Allah God wished to be made known to us that he is God. He wished to be respected as the superior God. He wished all life in the universe to know that he is the greatest. The Muslim recognizes Allah God to be the greatest. He always repeat, you are the greatest. There is no God like unto you. You see, none deserve to be served or worshipped besides you. Almighty will, I repeat that there is plenty to make of the mother plane. There is much to the course operation of her work. You see, space here in this book is limited, but what Allah God taught me concerning the mother plane can be put into book forms. Or will make to rock the earth and to heap up mountains upon the earth. Or will destroy a nation. No wonder we see the prophet Isaiah prophesies that the earth shall read to and fro like a drunkard. The Bible, Isaiah 24:20. Let's seek refuge in Allah God. The destruction works to come from this mother of plains. So we have the decision. Holy Quran. Surah 78 verse 2 of the tremendous announcement. We see the days of decision. We are now living in a time in which we must decide on what shall we do. It's very important that we arrive at a solution. Come to define agreement. Black men of America are holding back your decision. You're waiting because of the people who have brought this day a decision to us by the way of rule. The rule is in a way of injustice. Now the God of justice before us, and we must decide upon whether or not we will accept a change of ruler. We remain under the present ruler that is passing from the scene. We must decide rightly in order to relieve the people of pressure of injustice. Let our decision be for the benefits of our present and our future generation. We have no objection to that person who makes up his mind to remain in what he is already in. However, this announcement of great importance is laid before you and me, so that we may come to some kind of decision, agreement on what we shall do about this truth of this announcement. The announcement is the truth. It's asking us to decide on whether or not we are going to accept the truth or remain in falsehood. It is called the day of decision. Decide this day which God you shall serve, the God of freedom, justice, and equality, or the same old wicked God who Allah God is here to bring an end to. We see the wicked ruler veiled the eyes of the people with falsehood, so that the people may take falsehood for truth and truth for falsehood. This is what the Bible and Holy Quran teach us. All of the important announcement made by the prophet from Moses to the present day. The enemy of truth had deceived the people and made the people think that they was listening to falsehood. They made the people think that the prophet and this God was too weak to prevail over falsehood with truth. What it said here in this writing is directed to the black man in America. He is the real one who must decide on whether or not to remain in what he is in, or accept a better world that is ruled by the God of freedom, justice, and equality. My black brothers, I want you to know that you are in a pitiful condition here in this day in which the announcement is being made to you to make up your mind about what you are going to do. In plain words, I wish to write here and tell you that you do not have a long time in which to decide on what you want to do, because that you have a long time to decide is the mistake that people made in the past. Those people, lots of people, was the losers for ignoring the announcement for these worthy prophets. They waited for they thought that what they had was going to continue to be. We here in America do not have to wait and see, for America is folding up under divine chastisement and destruction taking place before your and my eyes. Also, the Bible and Holy Quran prophesies it of these days and what is going on. These days are the days of judgment of Allah, God, against the wicked. To see more may mean the end of your life and my life, as it was with the people of Noah and Lot, who waited to see more. They cannot come to the decisive point of agreement. They waited, maybe you too will wait. To wait for the truth to be fulfilled means that we will suffer the consequences of the truth, for not accepting the truth. The day of decision. As there was opponents of the prophets in the past, we have opponents of the prophets in this modern time. With all of the warning that was given before these days, we can make our decisions so easily. Remember, the people of Noah have no prophets nor scriptures before Noah. Again, remember that even as late as the time of Moses, the people of Moses, the Israelites, have no previously scriptures before Moses. You black brothers are better off. You have all other scriptures that was given to the prophet throughout the whole 6,000 years of the white man on the planet Earth. And then you will be so foolishly as to lay in making a good decision until you see something happen. As the Holy Quran in the Bible teach us, until you see the angels come in the cloud of heaven before you make up your mind. But still, you probably will reject that. Surely will not come in the cloud of heaven. But as the Holy Quran teach you, it will not be a good day for you who have waited for such time. When the angels come in the cloud of heaven, they will not be coming to do anything like preaching or giving you further knowledge. It is prophesied that on that day of judgment, the angel will come to execute judgment on you for not believing and to save those who do believe. The preachers, the messengers, is the first good warning to you today. Those people was lost. The angels came to execute judgment on opponents and disbelievers of Lot in the city of the plain where he was living. The day of decision only means the resurrection and judgment of the present world. And Jesus prophesied as it was in the days of Noah, Abraham, Lot, so will it be today. There was eating and drinking and having a good time, as they call it. But it's not a good time. It's a wicked time. History teaches us that by waiting there was the losers. But yet it will be the same today. It is the same for what's going on now. You are rejecting this truth and you are accepting falsehood instead. See, naturally, the enemy of truth is angry with the bearers of truth, because by nature, the enemy was not made of truth. He was made of falsehood. But again, we see the Bible teaches that whosoever believes the same shall be saved. This is truth, whether he is white or black. If a white man, woman, boy, or girl believe, you know by nature, they are not the real righteous. Faith will get them out of the hell that Allah God threatened this world with, and their time will be prolonged. I'm sure that you know this. They also know this. A reading it of them will escape if they had the faith in Allah God and his religion, Islam, and Jesus prophesied it in the Bible, that even though an enemy give one of his least one, a believer, a drink of water, and that being an act of goodness, God will not deprive that act of goodness of his reward. Make up your mind. Come to a right decision. I warn you. When shall you see all things? Jesus prophesies that when we see the fulfillment of prophecy of this time, then you will see and you will know that the time is here. Then you shall know by such acts of people, strange action that we had never witnessed before, carry on by the people, know that the end is near, even at the door. See, the Bible prophesies in Daniel and Matthew, saying that this is a time that man has never seen before. Man will never see such time again after this time. Strange happening. Prophecy, Jesus says that parents will be against children and children will be against parents. Do you not see these things being fulfilled today right in our eyes? Not only are parents against children, we see children against parents, but parents are murdering their children and children are murdering their parents. In some families, parents kill their children and then they commit suicide themselves. So this is going on today in this old USA. where the gospel of Jesus is preached every hour of the day somewhere in the land. In this time in which we are now living, there is no respect for dignity. See, the president leaving the country to travel far to meet with rulers of foreign country to discuss the strange things that are happening. The strange things that are happening between nations. The beautiful rich country of America, to which many people of Europe and Asia migrate, seeking refuge in this country, as the prophecy is now coming to fulfillment. In that day and time, everyone will begin to go away from America instead of coming to America. As the Revelation Bible teaches us of the prophecy that they will stand far off and see the fire of her America burning. For fear of it, they will lift up their hands and their voice, and they will lament for her. We see America trades is cut off all of her delicious and delicate things that she used to have in trades. It's all gone. 1 hour, 1 day came to pass here in the Western Hemisphere. The most wicked people who ever live on the earth are in the Western Hemisphere. As the Bible teaches us, that God says that to him, this is like Solomon and Gomorrah. And God did say that the wickedness of the day of Noah and his people, and Lot and his people, the Stalemites, was no more than child's play compared to this wickedness of today. For they are highly educated, they are scientists, and making wickedness for themselves. Day and night, up and down the streets, people are killing, murdering each other. See, we do not know very much about what's going on in Europe today, but we do see it right here in the city of Chicago, Illinois. The radio and television announced to the public that murder and killing are taking place continually. See, when shall you see all things? Today, there's great disrespect of one another. See, mother and daughters are walking the streets in shame to the public of decent mind people. See, they are throwing their clothes aside from their bodies, trying to keep nothing covered but their shame. And some barely cover their shame, as it was in the days of Noah and Lot, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. The Son of Man comes to judge man and mankind. The days have come. As Daniel prophesies, the Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. And to the end of the war, desolation are determined. And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. See, just think about it. See, at the end of the war, desolation. So that put an end to the hope of those who expect to see a great boost of prosperity after the war. In the days of Noah, the children of the Stalemites came out happy that morning, and that was the end. They saw a cloud making up. Just considered that was a rain cloud, but that was the end. And the Bible prophecy of Jesus, Matthew 24:38 and 39. For as in the days that was before the flood, there was eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew none until the flood came and took them all away. In the times of Noah, the people of Noah was having party as you are doing today. And that day was the end. In the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were so wicked that they was willing to go to war with angels in the house of Lot. The Starmites attacked the angels of God, who have power to destroy the Starmites almost instantly. The Starmite warned that they had been watching the angels visiting the house of Lot. See, a terrible time is gradually approaching upon us. A time so terrible until it will make children's grave head. The Holy Quran teach us. The Bible teach us that it will be a time never witnessed by man. It will be such time in the hereafter. It's a great time. Day and night, storms are coming in the country. It is storming day and night. The Holy Quran prophesies a disaster one right after another. This we are witnessing with our own eyes. O America, where shall you flee? Holy Quran teach us, black man, to take refuge in Allah. Today people laugh at you. You invite them to do righteousness. They make mock of you doing right. So did the people of Noah and Lot, as it says so beautiful in Jesus' prophecy, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. When shall you see all things that now you see? Know that is here. We are living in the end. My black brothers, I said, fly to Allah God for refuge and come follow me. I may look weak, but through me you'll find refuge in Allah. The judgment is near. Everywhere that we look and everything that we can think about marks the end of this world. There never was a time in the history of the United States of America that the president goes out to try to visit the heads of all of the nation that seem to be somewhat his equal. He is like a criminal who have committed a crime. And you hope for mercy from those who have committed the crime against. See, we cannot escape our doom when it comes to teaching the Holy Quran and the Bible. They show no mercy at all to the black slave. They treated the black slave worse than any human being had ever been treated. They continue to do so in the face of divine judgment. Remind you of a parable of this rich man and the poor man. As long as the rich man enjoyed luxury, cared nothing about luxury for his slave Lazarus, then at last we see the rich man flew into poverty, and he was unable to get help even from himself. The Bible says of the poor black slave that none helped them. Now the rich man gets in the place of his once slave. The rich man can witness how it feels to be a poor man. The parable says at last the rich man dies. In hell he lift up his eyes. He saw a slave in a blossom, Abraham, in the heaven that the slave had been promised that he would get into. It was such a beautiful heaven that the poor slave was lolling around in. Till the rich man cried out to his slave to share hell with him. He asked the slave to bring him a drop of water in hell. He knew that if the slave tried to get to hell with a drop of water, the slave will never get to heaven. The rich man will be happy if he receive a drop of water to ease his pain and torment. But if the slave could not come to him with a drop of water, to go to some of the rich man's brother, who the rich man knew was bound to get a taste of the same hell that the rich man was in. The rich man said, Father Abraham, if you will not let Lazarus come to me, then send him to my brothers, and words to say, they are bound to get hell too. So I said to you, time is not far off. This parable is now in the working. I said to you, black brothers, Lazarus tried to stay in the blossom of Abraham, because no man came to us. As the Bible teaches us, no man came to the poor Lazarus. Lost found, no one aided him. I have been begging for help to borrow money, saying that we would give extreme interest. No one have come to our aid yet. The white man have tried to prevent everyone who will give us a little help. So Allah God, who came to help us from ourselves, may Allah God bless us through his will and bless us to please him. For Allah God is the only help that we have. I do not care what interest we offer. See, no one wants to loan us. They know that we are well worth the loan, but they do not want us to be helped. They figure that we are going too fast as it is. Old rich man, your days have come. Your fall has come, and no one will help you. They do not want to come near. They see divine destruction licking his tongue about you on all sides. They do not want to get near to you. See, Europe is standing afar, will not come near. She does not want anything of you. Europe see your doom, and she does not want any herself. Whom to the white slave master in hell you lift up his eyes. See, the worst is yet to come, according to the radio and television, according to the individual conversation, and according to the conversation heard between governments and officials concerning the problem of trying to find a way to peace for the people and a way to find a stoppage of the fall of the money markets and unemployment, and a stoppage to the revolution between the dissatisfied and the dissatisfied, to find a way to be able to eat and to keep the hungry from eating from his labor. Pacification is offered but does not satisfy. With nation rejecting peace offer, and nation laughing, making mock of you, forever seeking peace and friendship, as it is written, peace is desired more than fine gold. Now, to see all these things coming to pass, things that we did not know that we would see, we did not know that we would see such a Goliath, such a giant fall. Goliath who had defiled the nation of the earth, to come out and fight with them, as Goliath did before Israel. Now nation make mock of that great giant of the earth, America. See, the sword within and the sword without. See, trouble seemed to have no end, with tens of millions of free black slaves crying for freedom, justice, and equality for his white slave master. And the white slave master want to deceive the black slave and make promises that the white slave master does not intend to fulfill to free the black slave. And with the free black slave thinking that he will eat some crumbs of freedom, justice, and equality from his white slave master, the free black slave will be greatly deceived. The white slave master cannot free himself from his enemy, not to think of this white slave master free himself from the consequences of the dissatisfied world. So the worst yet to come, I said to you, my black brothers and black sisters, fly to Allah and come follow me. There are some intelligent white people who will bear witness with me, but the worst is yet to come. Look at Texas. There's a warden at Attain prison house who sent the believers Muslims to the temple so that they may listen to the truth, which is their starvation today, to accept the truth. I think that this is a very wise warden. Like the Abu General Bible. Now, the general knew that the Abu was wrong and that Elijah was right. The Abu General took 400 of Elijah followers and hid and fed them with the bread of the Abu in order to save them from hunger while they was in captivity to the Abu. I said to you, leaders, remember the above says of this writing, that the worst is yet to come. As the Bible teaches us, that a time will come that have never come before, that those who understood, their hearts will be filled now with fear, and their eyes will go away in a hole, looking at things that they saw coming on their people, trouble, destruction, and a pledge. Look at the earthquakes. They are taking place. Those earthquakes on their way here. We're feeling the earth shaking under our feet across the country. Holy Quran prophesied to us, you will hear it coming from a distant place. So America be set all around now with trouble, and destruction which have happened. America thought that she was immune to the trouble and destruction which are going on in other nations. Now, the same trouble and destruction that we read as happening in other countries and to other nations, these same trouble and destruction, which the evil and gruesome sounds are knocking on this door of America. So we see the dreadful times of America. America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted by the prophet Moses. And between him and Jesus, we see in his 24th chapter of Matthew that there is a prophecy made by Jesus at the present time of America without mentioning her name. Referred to the country as the world, because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name America is not yet 500 years old, so that the prophet referred to it as a wilderness and a prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because it's not a thing that can be described as something else, or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America has reached a stage about which she had always have been warned. She always have wanted to keep a secret because of her so-called Negro slaves. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving, mistreating her slave. She had reared them for the past 400 years. She knows them, and she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. She knows the fear of her. She knows the slave, but the slave do not know America, their slave masters. The great, dreadful, and awful day's doom is now in the doors and windows of America. As long as Christianity works, we see, America thought she was safe, because today it has become one of the most upright, misleading religions of the world we see today. Allah God taught me that if we carefully examine everything in the religion of this Christianity, it's designed to make a slave out of black people. If Christianity was a red rag and wrung out, every drop would right. Slavery for the black man. So the world knows this now. But the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American, so-called Nick, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own salvation that is now in truth of self and kind, an enemy of self. There will not be an end to the carcasses between black and white America and throughout the world until this wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed, and righteousness and justice are practiced. This is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He is to free the black man, the American so-called Negro, from its deceitful, evil, and murderous enemies. America wished to oppose Allah God in his work of bringing justice and freedom for one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. Allah wants America to attack him, to get the fight started, and to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and power. America is bringing about the political gloom. Here we see the politician unable to carve out a future for America. The plan of deceiving the so-called Negro politician to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation that Allah God has brought to them is making the so-called Negro and high office become the enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such offices are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth of their starvation. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come in here. They are happy, and they both know that they are. You see, to have a place near him in office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messengers and freeing the poor black man who is in the mud. Y'all hit that like button. Don't cost y'all anything. 17 people already in here. Hit that like button for me. It's going to bring up the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys coming in. So we see this causing political confusion against the House today that is divided against itself. So I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on this separation of our one slave and their master. You see, of course, Allah God is significant. See, we want a home on this earth. We can call home. We do not want to be slave anymore to white people. See, we do not want to be free Uncle Tom for white people. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America went for a blind, deaf, dumb politician class, or the so-called will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with the doom that is inevitable against the enemy. It is not 20 years, my brothers and sisters, in the future, nor 15 years. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors now. See, the dreadful pledge and confusion of America are beginning to boil. The few making it boil will not freeze until it boils down to that last dread. See, the present promise of a better future that America is making to the so-called Negro will prove to be false. And all of her false promise to the American so-called Negro will be short-lived by both, because the time of her doom has approached it. America will have to do a marvelous thing, a justice, a square deal to turn it back. A fascinating show attempting the Negro to filth today, and evil will not work. It takes justice to work to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost the war. We see friendship is speeding her doom. We see the lube before the storm. I'm afraid for you that you will receive what the people before you did receive. Allah God is very angry with America and the trickology that she has used on the dead to keep them dead. You are very disappointed to Allah God, to the original black man who knows himself, a very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is putting on is at hand. We must remember that Daniel prophecy that at the end of the war, desolation are determined. Before this happened, Allah God will bless the people with a good time, as he did the people of the past who wronged themselves, who did not pay attention to the prophet warning. Amongst them, Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time with a short great prosperity, and at the heights of their great prosperity, suddenly he has destroyed them. This is the merciful law that America has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. America is going to do the same. America will rally, and people will think that she is going to have a great future. And then the end will come in that kind of time. American end will not come while she is going around with her head hanging down, with her heart itching and failing because of the things that are coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. See, the stock markets are going up, and we see lots of shares being sold. This make any man think that everything is all right, but this is only lube before the storm. And the Bible warns America of what happened before her. We see ancient Babylon enjoy full ruling and position at her time, but King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth, drunkenness, her laughing at the slave that she had made of Israel. See, King Darius came against her with his army and overcame the sleeping guard, who was sleeping on the security of their life. The Bible prophesies that the enemy will say, "Come, let us go up and destroy her cities that's not fenced in." And they will come from afar, and it may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising in the morning, or at the afternoon. But nevertheless, it will come at a time that you thought not. At the end of time, at we see at the end of the war and to the end of this time of this war, desolation are determined, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. We see the Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know that which will be poor, meaning it is the vibration of you, America, of you ever getting back into this power to attack the nation of the earth. Europe will become one of the worst war areas of all the world, more dreadful than Vietnam and other place that you are planning on going into. Asia will look like child's play when compared to what is going on in Europe and what is going to happen in Europe. The prophet says, "Whom to the land that shallow with rings." This means America, whose skies is filled with plains. Most of the judgment and trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. America, right up to date, with all of her battles, with her outside enemy, never loses sight of the inside of her poor old black slaves. She does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived. She does not want him to accept his salvation that Allah God is offering the black one slave here in America. Allah God is offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he hath proved to everyone that believe in Allah God and follow me. I am the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Your prayers will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through to Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see. Satisfied that those who know this will bear me witness. And the keys to your salvation and have the keys to your hell. I can if you will let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven, or I can keep push you to the punishment of hell till we acknowledge that there is no God but Allah. Came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, whom praise are due forever. Now Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. Only ways through me is through Allah God. See me first, for you cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. Delude before the storm. The storm of America can be delayed, and every hour that can be delayed is up to her to make good this day. So America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. See, America made promises to you, and she makes promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. See, some of America financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it comes time to do so, they vanish. But the day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It is entirely up to them to make good this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves, as the Bible says. The Gentiles shall come to the light of your rising. America wants to destroy God and me. And she wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. America lift up all of my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she had done for Malcolm. America named universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. See, Malcolm turned from Allah, God, and me and started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah, God, and myself and come to them. See how they doing? Everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah, God, and me, America raise him up for you to follow. America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people when he lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. See, Malcolm was a double crosser. He tried to get to me with their help, as it is written and prophesied that he would do. And his name is not written there in the name of Malcolm. In the history, another name is used, but his work is there in the history of the hypocrites in the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. So you find this in the writings of Washington Irving, and even some scientists, writers of Islam that can tell you Malcolm's history. But the enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm, but Malcolm working against me. He used Malcolm. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me. He was not able to change it. And even if the enemy would glorify them, they would come to a nothing. But the time as ruling power over black people was up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Suppose we will worship Russia and China and North Korea. But we do not worship them. For Allah, God is most significant. See, more significant than all of their nations. Allah, God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. You cannot fight against Allah, God, and win. The more you will fight against Allah, God, the more you will lose yourself. From the Bible, and from this chapter, and from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you, making you to follow the hypocrites, it is your doom. Just watch it. He trails me. He goes down to Bahamas. And everywhere that he thinks that I'm going, or where I have been. See, this is written. I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do. Nor should he fault me for what by nature I am. But I fault you if you let this little transgression of this life and our enemy deprive you of a great future for yourself. We can buy a hospital and place to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nation of earth. But you rather give your money over to white America and let them spend it on what they want to. And they pay you a little interest. We offer interest too, the highest of interest, but you do not trust us. So we will build right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It is prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. In my work that was prophesied of me before I was born, you see it today. Try and find a successful one who is working in opposition to me. And none of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress. Not him, nor 7 times his number. As long as I'm with Allah God and is with me. And that will be all the days of my life. Thank you, YouTube. Fire fed with you. Shout out to YouTube. So we have fire with fed. So we see the fire fueled with fed. So we see this chapter, this subject is taken from this Holy Quran. Fire fueled. So we have Surah 85 verse 5. We do not hope for this peace as long as we see the fire fed with fuel. As we add to the war that will serve as a fuel to this fire. See, the fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burning fire is increased it when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. We see this world that we live in desire, first of all, to hide this truth, to keep this black man who is made blind, deaf, and dumb by scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that this right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace when the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding a right solution and then practicing a right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. For the time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the prediction of the Bible. It has foretold these times. If we understand the Bible, it must certainly teach us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace as being the true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the right Christian do. See, day and night, the airways are full of their preaching. You hear them, you think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the word Jesus put it. They sat in Moses' seat. The right Christians are great deceivers. We see the Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah, that he will send peace to them like rivers? Surely it cannot be this present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. Fire fed with fuel. See, leaving your own homes and country to go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people, then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which falls the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding at a time. So you are not living in a time in which you may be expected a settlement of war that will give you what you have always been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you shall follow this man whom God hath given that knowledge. Teach you how to do for self now. With the ocean filled with the fleets of this white Christian, and the sky crowded with the death dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that you should submit, that they should submit for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or destroy them, then I say yes. If that was the situation, then I should say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. Or what I should say, that they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attacker, same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe in many hundreds of thousands believe as I do that the President of the United States of America have good intentions towards the citizens of America when he took over this presidency. But the time is against him. For 400 years and more, Allah God has already given the prophets through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is a time we cannot do anything but take it. It's a dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire. You see, the fire is the war. Now, will America repent? This is a great question. America knows the evil doing against us, but to repent of it, I doubt it much. She feels that if she tries to make up with us for evil doing to us, she will be inviting her disgrace amongst this nation of the earth. The determination to try to keep this so-called believing in the true God, Allah, and the true religion of Islam, which is our salvation. They are using many tricks now to deceive the so-called nigger. So-called nigger now are falling for them. False friendship is not able to stand up for very long. An enemy is just not able to pull over false friendship for long. See, you should be aware of them and their tricks as long as they have been putting them all over on you today. According to Holy Quran, we see Surah 60, verse 11. Friendly relation with enemy of Islam is forbidden. Or you who believe, do not take my enemies and your enemies for friends. We offer them love while they had denied what have come to you, or the truth, driving out the apostle yourself because you believe in Allah, your Lord. In this kind of doing, the foolish so-called Negro will be trapped. There are even some weak Muslims who ignore this warning. Some even go as far to marry the enemy of Islam and even hate me for teaching the truth of the enemy. But Allah is with me and I have no right to worry about the doing of the people at the knowledge. The enemy does not love near you or me, as the next verse teach. If they find you, they will be your enemy and will stretch forth towards you their hands and their tongue with evil and desire that they may disbelieve. They will slave you with their hands and speak evil to you and of you with their tongue. You must remember that you do not like one who befriend your enemies. How much does God dislike you for making love with his enemies? Enemy does not have to be a real devil today. He can be your father, mother, brother, husband, wife, or children. See, many times they are your own households. Today is the great time of separation of the righteous Muslim and the wicked white race. We see the wicked are not by any means asleep to the knowledge of the truth. You must know the truth, whether you accept it or reject it. See, ask yourself these questions. Number one, if Christianity is the religion of Jesus, why is that the wicked white race represented instead of the righteous and holy people of the east of Islam? Number two, why has not the holy city of Mecca allowed it to be taught within her? Number three, why is not Jerusalem the capital of Christianity instead of Rome, Italy? Number four, if Christianity was the religion of Jesus and the right race of Jesus, beloved people, why did he preach the doom of the right race and the coming of a new world? These people will most certainly carry to their doom many of our people because of our people fear and love of them. See, look out of your doors or windows and see this black woman sitting in the car, close in the arms of your and her enemy. The enemy does not love her. He only wants to disgrace her and you and keep her from seeing this hereafter. You cannot have any such freedom with his woman, especially not in front of his door. Love her down will get you to hell. The trouble of America, no peace. America trying to hold her place as the greatest power amongst the nations of earth is one of the most troubled countries on earth today. The world had never before seen the top ruler leaving the land of the office to visit nations. See, the purpose of these visits to foreign countries is to make peace with them after years of troubling them. America brought all of her trouble upon herself. She alone is to be charged with being the cause of the troubled world and people today. America loved managing to other people's affairs. She just cannot stay out of other people's business. Whether they be a 2-cent worst soapbox teacher or president or king of country. America action fits the description of the prophecy of the Bible. We see the beasts have eyes around and about. This referred to mechanical listening devices, which America listen in on other people's private affairs, as well as to listen in on foreign governmental affairs. This also referred to powerful telescopes. America goes aboard and make war against other people. Then she charged them with making war against her when he is the one who is guilty of war making. The Bible says, Allah God will destroy those that like themselves and making war. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got to charge my phone. But it's been a pleasure for you guys, to tune in. I can't do this without you guys, man. Want to give a shout out to all my viewers, my fans, sticking with me. I want to give a shout out to YouTube, man, from helping me, man, helping my content grow, man. Man, they helping, content creators, man. And I want to thank YouTube, man, giving me a shout out, working, with my, with my content, and it's paying off, man. You guys continue to keep posting. Continue to strive for full restoration, man, and things is good's gonna come. Just gotta have faith. Keep me in your prayers, and I keep praying for you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys, man, and you guys been in family, man. Things is about to change. Our world from the change. But we got to keep God in this midst of time. We got to keep God in our life. Put God first. Let God carry us. Put Him first. But yeah, man, it's been a blessing, man. I I could never imagine that, YouTube will ever help me in this point, man. I want to thank them because they've been a big help in my life, man. YouTube is changing my life, man. And I can excel, and man, I'm hoping that good things come for me, with my YouTube channel, man. And this is 2025. Anybody can make it, man. The sky's the limit. So I just want to just thank YouTube. Big shout out for YouTube because they've been a help in my life, man. I couldn't do this without them, man. So I want to thank my viewers, man. I want to thank you guys, man, for just staying with me, man, through this time, man. I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm going to close it, man. I thank you guys for tuning in. Sincerely, man. Sincerely, man. You guys, be safe, man. I thank you guys. I love you guys, man. I really don't want to go right now, but it's just my phone. It's finna die out. So, yeah, I'm going to stop here, y'all. So, man, it's great having you guys here, man. It's great being a family, having you guys here, man. But till then, next time, man. It's always next time, man. I love you guys, man. Y'all take care. Stay safe. I'm out. Peace.